Hello everybody, in today's video we're going to take a look at this odd looking wooden burr puzzle. This one is called Alvit and it's made by Alphonse Aikman. The frame here is oak and these are weng. So it's basically a 6-piece burr and it's got a cage, but it's deceptive looking. It's not exactly that. These pieces here are actually interlocking with each other sort of like this. So these 4 pieces that make up the cage actually come apart and actually interact with the disassembly and assembly as well. So it's not just your typical 6-piece burr inside of a cage. It's actually 10 pieces. So that's really, really cool. I saw this on his Facebook page and I immediately wanted it. Now I can see inside here, you can see that he has signed it and it says number 1. So I'm guessing that this is the very first one ever made, and then it's, of course, it has A. Aikmans for Alphonse Aikmans. So I think it's a really nice looking puzzle, and when I unboxed it, or I guess when I just opened it, I don't really do unboxings for these, but when I opened the box, I was extremely impressed by how sturdy this thing is. Oh, there's a movement. I haven't made any movements yet, so that's, I guess, the first one. That goes really far, too. Oh, and it moves over, too. But it's very, very sturdy. It's very clean looking. It's a well-made puzzle overall. I mean, my first impressions of this is I'm amazed by it. It's very, very well made. And I'm seeing right now too that the pieces here are actually 2 pieces. You can see the wood grains go different directions, and then there's sort of a line in the middle, and same with here and here. So I'm guessing that, of course, it would be difficult to just whatever he's carved out in there. We can't see it yet, but it's actually 2 pieces that are glued onto each other. So it's actually 8 pieces, but glued obviously to make 4. So anyways, I'm going to go on and try to find some moves. There's one. Where was that other one we found here? Right there? No. Right there. And then this could go this way as well. And then that one can go in. Can this move yet? No. Okay, let's see if there's any other moves first. There was that middle piece. What does that do here? That moves. Freeze this one. No, that's already free. This goes in there. Oh, okay, so that moves over. Oh, there we have our first move there. That's what I was looking for. So that's awesome. So I'm guessing because that was really the only way I could go, that middle one didn't really do anything. That's got to free up another move somewhere. And I'm guessing it's going to be one of these 2. And it is. Right there. One of this one? Nope. So what does this free up? That was already free. That's the way it was already. Ugh. Why isn't this going back? Anyways, going a little bit further. Let's go here. Free up anything? Nope. Oh, there we go. So we got another move. So anyways, I've discovered enough. So I'm going to go and get the first piece out if I can, and then come back and show you the pieces. I believe this is a level 28, meaning 28 moves to get the first piece out. And I'm already loving this puzzle. I love the way these things move around. Very intriguing puzzle. I think it's really awesome. So I'll be back when I've got the first piece out. Alright everybody, so as you can see, I've got this thing quite moved around already. And I gotta say, it's been about 10 hours worth of work on this already. And I've got the first piece out. So this is actually the first piece that comes out. And now we can really see, it says A. Aikman for Alphonse Aikmans. Number 1, I'm guessing, like I said, that's the first one made, and then of course the date it was made as well. And I really like the concept of this puzzle with these wooden, I don't know, slabs or boards, I guess. And then it all goes together like that. Of course, this one here is moving around already too. So like I said, it was around 10 hours to get this thing to where it is, and I did actually end up having to use a hint because about 8 of those hours were spent trying to find one single move, and I just could not find it. And honestly, I was getting a bit frustrated with the puzzle. And so I asked Alphonse for the hint, and he gave it to me. And then after that, it was actually smooth sailing. It was just another one of those things, like Alphonse puzzles are a lot tighter than the other builders that I get, and you really have to make sure that things are lined up correctly before something else will move. If it's even just a little bit misaligned, I mean, these aren't screw spring structures like a Rubik's cube. You know, they don't have any tolerance for corner cutting. So you really have to make sure things are aligned. But despite that, having to use a hint, I'm not surprised I had to use a hint on this, because it was very, very difficult to figure out. As you can see, it's, you know, this piece is sticking way out. These pieces are out. These are out as well. And, you know, so it's a very, very complicated puzzle. And even though you can see the inside from the top and the bottom, it does actually help with the solving a little bit, because you can actually see inside the puzzle. But at the same time, with these pieces having to go up and down, it's difficult sometimes to see exactly if those pieces can move if you don't know if one of these pieces can move, because these can really unblock a lot of pieces when you start moving them around. So anyways, it was really, really fun. I think it's around another 8 moves or so until the next piece comes out. And I'm not sure if it's a big one or a small one, but I will come back when that is done. And I'm pretty sure it'll just come and disassemble itself after that. So I'll be back. All right, guys. So as you can see, I've got this thing completely disassembled now. I've got 4 of these pieces and 6 of these pieces, and that's what makes up the puzzle, all 10 pieces. It was actually only 7 or 8 more moves, and it was very, very easy to get the thing apart since the last segment I filmed. I'm really interested in these type of puzzles, and Alphonse has actually created a couple more that I like. One is basically the same thing, except it's shorter, and instead of the pieces being arranged on the inside in a row like this, they're actually arranged like this. And they're made with tulip wood, and it looked really, really cool. And then he actually just made another one that looks exactly like this, except instead of being able to see inside, there's actually 4 more pieces that go inside. So it's actually a 14 piece. So I really want to get these ones as well. But I've got some others ordered from him that I'm going to try to solve in the meantime. Anyways, so it was really, really fun. This is what some of the pieces look like. Again, Alphonse doesn't care if I show his designs, because he says if somebody's going to steal them, then that must mean they're very good designs. I don't think it's going to take away from his business in his mind. But these are what some of the pieces look like. Now, as far as, and of course this one I already showed, as far as how to put this back together, I have no idea. Honestly, I just really don't pay too much attention. These things here go together, obviously, like this. Now, I don't know if that's the actual configuration. Maybe these two have to swap, maybe these two, or maybe these two. Maybe they have to be turned around like this. I mean, there's so many different configurations, right? But I do know that this one goes this way, because I know that the signature was on the inside. And so that is the frame. I don't know if that's exactly how it's supposed to go, but that's the frame, and it interacts with the solve, which is really cool. And these are the actual pieces. So we've got some really nice pieces here. Again, you can see that this one's been glued on because he's got to cut straight through. Now, other people I've noticed actually can get that notch in there without having to cut and re-glue another piece. I don't know how they do that. Maybe a little chisel. I don't know. Again, right here, this is a really interesting looking piece. We've got just one little notch out there. This is a pretty standard piece that you will see in some puzzles. This one looks a little bit standard as well, a little bit odd there. Here's a very standard piece that I've seen in a lot of puzzles. And this one here is a little bit odd, but also very standard. But it really depends. I mean, what happens if you were to put one more notch right there? I don't know. I mean, would it make it easier? Would it make it unsolvable? Would it make it harder? I'm not sure. That's what I really like about these puzzles, is the design that goes into them. Like, wow, you know, very, very nice. Anyway, so I'm going to assemble this thing again, and then I will come back and let you know my final thoughts. Okay, guys, so I've got this thing completely assembled again. And so what I did on this one, a little bit different than I did on the other ones, I used Burr tools and I used my own brain to put it back together. So obviously I couldn't figure out how to put these back together, but I did remember that I was able to take out the one with the writing on it first, and then I remembered which one came out second. So what I did is I used Burr tools to put it back together as much as I could until that last piece of the sticks came in, and then I did it by memory, working backwards, and it took me a little bit, but I was able to do it. So that's good. It's a little bit step forward, I guess, in assembling it. I guess the next step would actually to be using, you know, don't use burr tools at all. So this is really great. I highly recommend this puzzle, of course. It's very strong, very just awesome puzzle. Alphonse is a great designer and a great builder. So I will leave a link to his Facebook page in the description. Alphonse puzzles usually cost around 60 euros. So this one costs about 60 euros. They can cost up to 80 euros depending on which wood you would like. So this one here is obviously oak, which is a very easy to find wood. And then this here is weng, which is an exotic wood, and it costs a little more. So he always tries to incorporate one exotic wood in with his puzzles. There's usually 2 regular woods and 1 exotic, but if you want, every more exotic wood would cost another $10. So if I wanted 2 of these to be I don't know, like a different type of exotic wood, that it would be a $70 puzzle. If I wanted 2 of them to be a different type of exotic wood, it would be an $80 puzzle. And any puzzle, he said, that is only 6 pieces costs 40 euros. Which is really reasonable for these puzzles, for the woods that he uses, and also for the amount of time and effort, and not just the time and effort of making it, but also the time and effort that went into designing it has to be compensated for as well over time. Anyways, so enough about that. I'll leave a link to his Facebook page in the description if you are, wanting to order something. He said that's okay to leave it there. Thanks for watching, guys, and I will see you on my next video.